I've decided to put a very quick introduction at the front of this video. This is a quite historic video. It's the last proper video of Kaicho Jon Bluming. So Kaicho was smart, and he realized that when a founder of a system died, the potential for that system to kind of pull itself apart was massive. So what he did was he pulled to himself three people who he believed had certain characteristics, skills and personalities that would benefit the Kyokushin Budokai and drive it forward. So it's really clear that we understand that this is about Kyokushin Budokai within the IBK, and it's not about the Kyokushin within the IBK. That is being ran wonderfully by Hanshi Yandebron. So it's nothing to do with the Kyokushin side at all. This was, looking back on this, I suppose, this is quite a difficult video because we knew and he knew that his time on earth was short. You have to remember, 4 months after this, just 4 months, on the 17th of December 2018, our Kaicho was dead. He was an extraordinary figure that drew people to him, and we absolutely adored and were in awe of this man. And I really kind of need to get that across to people to understand that, about how kind of difficult this video, this meeting and everything was to do. At the end of it, the reason we're releasing it now, 5 years after the event, because believe me, there are many occasions we could have used this video to go scorched earth on various people, but we didn't, is that there is a new film out about Kaicho, about particularly the latter part of his life. And we wanted to share this video to people, and I hope you really enjoy it, and I hope it answers a few questions for you. Us.
And you were gonna take over.
Was
Because I can't anymore.
That's why we're here. We're here
To help.
to do what, to help and to make sure your vision becomes a future. That's why we've travelled here today for you.
and that it stays the way you want it.
Yes.
So the way you want it, we will do the way you want it.
That's the way I want
Yeah.
it.
Os.
Yes.
Os. And like Mark said, we're not interested in money, or we just need it to continue going. And that it stays with you and handled practically through you. And just that I don't say anything wrong, that it stays that way. That we will write you, and it's running through you. It just needs to move.
Okay.
And if it does that, then it will anyway. It will stay anyway. But that it's also it's up to you. And if that's what you wish, then we will, of course, push it that way, and make sure that everybody understands that's the way it is.
And don't ever forget when I'm not here anymore, then you take over.
Os.
And not Rafi. Fuck no.
That's why we're here today. That's why we've come here today, just to make certain that...
And it is Rafi's Kyokushin card. And
But certificate should still stay
it's
here, and also that the financial part stays here in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes...
Is that also your?
Absolutely, it comes to you.
too, Kaicho? That the financial income stay here.
mhm.
It should.
Thank you.
That's how we feel. You know, it wasn't even, we all just, somebody said it and we all just went, yeah,
Of course.
of course, you know, so it stays with you. All the stuff for the licenses,
It comes from the build.
yeah, and it comes to you. And the thing is, we have to understand that these things will happen. Human beings form groups and then splinter within these groups. It's about trying to make the group as robust as possible and to make it as attractive as possible. You know, because that's really what they need. Because, you know, we'll never stop the ego guy who comes in, gets awarded a 4th Dan, and then decides that's enough for him to go away and start his organisation. That will always happen. We'll have to acknowledge that. But it's about making certain we put the right people in positions of power that are going to follow Kaicho's philosophy, follow what the board want them to do, which will be what Kaicho would like them to do.
And also keep everybody together.
And keep everyone together. And that is not going to be easy. When John eventually, either, as he says, dies, or he eventually gets to the point where he's struggling to, you know, his good days are smaller than are shorter than his bad days, then that's when we're going to start having the kind of problems, which is why we've come here today to say, look, we want to get this solidified, solid and in position. And we also need the fact, the acknowledgement that, listen, we don't care if you're a 9th Dan or a 10th Dan. That's got nothing to do with how the board runs. It's nothing to do with the gradings, what's in the board. You might outrank us in a dojo, but you do not outrank us in a boardroom. That's really important to put across. As some people say, I'm a 9th Dan, or I'm a 10th Dan, ergo, I outrank you. Well, you might in the dojo, and we'll bow to you and do whatever you like within the dojo. However, when we step into a boardroom, you are now no longer outranked. It's nothing to do with ranks, it's to do with board members. And what will be more important, what is more important, approved board members.
Before, we do have people inside the board who have no interest in building the IBK and who deliberately are not helping. The question is, it's you guys decide, but the question is if we should approach them and they should say, yes, I actively want to be a member of the board and work for it. And if they don't do that, does it make sense they stay?
Then they should decide for themselves what they want. If they don't want to be a member, then they should go, of course. That's my idea.
But I mean, if you see, do you remember you said to me, Tom, is it unanimous? And I say, I cannot make it unanimous, because
exactly.
3 or 4 of them will never answer.
True.
Yes, true.
So the question is, if we approach them and say, guys, we want you in the board, no problem, but if you don't answer and you don't give a vote, you're not working.
No, please leave.
So you're not in the board unless you answer emails
Ja.
and answer questions.
Ja, dat is toch logisch. En als ze dan niet reageren,
No.
dan stap er dan uit.
Ja.
Ga dan weg.
In the beginning, when I have sent the first mail for inviting people for all-round fighting to make a board, almost, Tom, Mark were the only ones who applied. So we are the board. Some other ones, but they just do their own thing and they only do Kyokushin. For me, no problem, but then they should not be in the all-round fighting board. Yeah. And they just don't reply. We ask them several things about the IBK, about the all-round fighting division. We don't get even a mail back. Nothing happens. The only ones who are always
The same persons.
helping each other is us.
But
No. You have IBK and you have like the Kyokushin full contact karate board.
Okay.
From Jan de Bruin.
Yep.
Then you have the Kyokushin Budokai all-round fighting board.
and who is
And that should be that years ago. It was. I said I want a IBK all-round fighting board. I asked 5 people. Only 3 are active. And the other people are active, but only in Kyokushin. But that's not all-round fighting because we choose.
complicated.
Yes, yes, it is because I think the martial arts of my Kaicho, it's all-round fighting. That always has been like that. You see, I respect Sosai Oyama and I respect Kyokushin. That's not the problem, but it's not my path. I chose, and I think you guys also did, for all-round fighting. You know, the teachings of Kaicho. So if I create a board, I will not create a board calling it Kyokushin Budokai all-round fighting, but behind the scenes, people are only training Kyokushin. That's like lying to your Kaisho.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if you say I'm a black belt Kyokushin Budokai all-round fighting, and it was created by Kaisho in 3 parts, you know, the stand-up, the throwing, and the groundwork, then I mean that's it. That is a simple thing. All-round fighting is all-round fighting, and we should not interfere in the Kyokushin department, and they should not interfere in the all-round fighting department.
So you want Jan de Bruin to be Kaicho of the IBK?
Yes.
Yeah. For me personally, if I may say so, I will not follow Jan de Bruin or anybody. I only have one master, and he's sitting there.
Yes, but
I have, and
if I die,
but you still will be my master.
yes,
So what happens
Yeah,
then?
I-
What happens then when John
Well,
passes away?
well, if that happens, I mean, then, for example, to me, I have more the impression that Kaicho and Jan de Bruin are old friends, you know, and they made IBK, which is like a martial arts federation, and they have all-round and they have Kyokushin. Again, it's like 2 different martial arts. See, for me personally, I will never follow the other path because it's not my Kaicho. It's him, only him. I am like that. I'm sorry, guys. I am like that.
No.
You know that.
But after that you will just leave the
No,
organization?
no,
You
no.
will stay in the organization?
As IBK,
Yeah.
the all-round fighting division. Why? Because if you speak the name IBK, what does everybody always says? It's Kaicho Jon Bluming. Yes, but a lot of people use that image and that name, which is logical, as a trademark for the Kyokushin. But the fact is that Kaicho is much more Kyokushin Budokai. You see, I follow not the style of Sosai Mazoyama, I follow the style of Kaicho.
what I don't want that if when I take off, whatever it is, that they be fighting for a bigger place. There is no bigger place. There is one big place, like always, working together.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's what we're afraid of, that might break
Yeah,
apart.
If I leave, then it means
To be very specific on what you're saying, this is why the 3 of us come and say, let's do Budokai, because it's just my personal opinion, the karate people will break apart.
They're already busy.
And Jan de Bruin will have it. which is
Empire
good,
building.
Yeah,
But the
empire
rest of
building.
them will
Empire
break
building.
apart and walk away.
I'll tell you what will happen. When John eventually goes, you'll get a flood of solidarity. Everyone's saying, we're going to do this for John, it'll be the IBK. And literally, moments later, I'm not going to put a time on it, guys will start going up to other guys and going, well, me and you can do a better job than those over there, these over here, and the empire building will start. Unless John's will, what he wants to happen, is concreted and put in place. It doesn't matter what they're saying, you're saying you're going against what Kaicho wanted, stop it. Okay, stop it or just leave. Rather we start with the bare bones one and build it all back up again and get exactly what John wanted, so his philosophy doesn't die, as opposed to these people that we're already seeing as empire building. We're already starting to see it coming in, and oh, this is my. You were talking about it today about somebody going like, it's not his club. Somebody saying this is my club, and he's, you know, the problems we had. Just for an example, I can give a thing on the problems we had in Switzerland. We lost Switzerland with Nicholas Albrecht leaving, because Lionel graded up somebody to black belt and then said they were and we were doing all the paperwork for Dai Shihan contracts, which aren't in place yet, but they will be, which gives an exact thing of what protection we give the Dai Shihan and our expectations of office for the Dai Shihan. So that way people can't come in and say, but I'm one of John's favoured ones. John likes me better than he likes Nicholas, therefore I'm putting my own black belts in that country and it now becomes my club. And that's the kind of problems we've been dealing with, trying to deal with behind the scenes, and to take the stress away from John. This is why we want it concreted. If John wants to give it to somebody else, we don't mind, but we need to have something put in place where we can actually turn around and say to people, that's not what Kaicho wanted. This is what Kaicho wanted. Either go with it or go to another organisation. But stop trying to steal territories.
Great that if you give Lionel the function,
No, we will not give Lionel. That will not happen.
Don't do that.
We tried.
he will he like Ravi.
Yeah, he's a kind of coffee.
Yeah, he's an empire builder.
We have others inside who are excellent karate people, build good organization, but it's not IBK. They want another.
Like Pedro Ruiz from Spain. He has his world Kyokushin
WKB, World Kyokushin.
He has his
Budokai.
own federation, but it's all with publications about Kaicho. It's it's true, eh? But we have to be honest. He's doing all over the world, but only doing Kyokushin, and he's doing very good. He has a very good structure. He's all everywhere promoting, he's saying Kaicho Bluming, but he's promoting Kyokushin.
A different thing, yeah.
So he should be under Jan.
He should
be under Jan.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
He should be under
They have their own organization, and
Bruyne,
they're doing their own thing.
Yes.
But that's what I mean. We need to help
Jan.
before it becomes IBK 2 people. We need to help Jan clean up and support him, because we have no interest in somebody else going after Jan.